Smart cities. This is something that if you live particularly in an urban area, you probably have heard politicians in your town talking about it, trying to get you that we need more of a smart city here. These phrases sound good. What's wrong with being smart? What do you want, a dumb city? But the smart city that they envision is not the one that we want.
No. And again, this is another one of these things where they're able to sell you on lots of conveniences. So the idea behind a smart city is let's embed technology everywhere. Let's know what's happening everywhere in the city, not just with cameras, which is a huge part of it, but also with a variety of different sensors for water usage, for example, and rain, runoff, and all kinds of different things. Let's know what's happening everywhere all the time. And the convenience of that will be they can do a better job maintaining the city. It can be more affordable. They can crack down on crime because who's going to commit crime when there's cameras everywhere? There's all sorts of different advantages of that, water usage and making sure the sewage system works more effectively and all of that. And there are real benefits to it. And people really will save money, and there probably would be less crime if there was a camera literally everywhere, right?
That's a Demolition Man, right? Remember that? Remember that movie?
Right.
Yeah, there's cameras everywhere, but there wasn't any crime, but it wasn't a society anybody wanted.
Exactly, and that's the point, right? So they're building it, they're only talking about the benefits, and then what they'll do is they'll say, well, don't worry, we're going to build in all kinds of privacy protections, so you don't have anything to worry about. But those privacy protections are A, subject to change whenever they want, and B, not really privacy protections, right. And so it's one of these things where we're going to spy on everything you're doing. But don't worry, if you're not a criminal, it's not going to be held against you. But the amount of data that's being collected in many of these cities now is so extreme that in some places, my favorite example from the book is they have put water sensors on the sewage system. I think it was in New York that they started doing this, so that they can tell when there's a sewage overflow problem, okay?
Okay.
And then when they start to see this being an issue, they created an SMS text alert system so that they can inform everybody in the city area that's being monitored to stop flushing their toilets. So they're literally monitoring your use of the toilet and sewage overflow so they can control the amount of crap that's going into the system. That's literally something that they're already doing. And in China, they've fully embraced this as a way of controlling society, making society better. And again, in China, do you have the kind of stuff that you see, the same kind of rampant crime? You don't have people in China walking into Kohl's or walking into Target or something and just stealing stuff off the shelf and then running up. That would never be allowed. You'd be executed, okay? There's no chance of that happening. But again, we don't want that world. We don't want to live in communist China's vision for the world. But in many respects, so much of what the smart city plan is a way of controlling people through this technology, which again is the theme of this book. And by the way, just real quick, the World Economic Forum has partnered with cities all over the world, including many cities in the United States, Dallas, Texas being one of them, on a plan to embrace this smart city technology to help roll it out. There's also thousands of local governments that they're working with that are not in cities. Again, trying to build this. Glenn talked a lot about this, and you remember this, the Agenda 21 days. That was the early phase of this. We're now in the much more technologically advanced version of what they were talking about back then.
Okay.